Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is Anton, and hopefully all of you guys are having a fantastic day because we're going to be continuing our Savage Garden Affirmation full album reaction, and this is an excerpt of that full album reaction. So if you enjoy this and you want to check out the entire thing with everybody, join everyone in the Patreon. First link down below. And yeah, so we are on the Animal song, and I know from half of you guys love this song. The other half is kind of like mid with it, so that's the beauty of music, subjectivity. But anyway, before we get into this one, as always, if you guys have any song requests for me and you want to vote on what artists come on the channel every single week, join everyone in the Discord, link down below in the description. And if you want guaranteed song requests and you want to check out all of our full album reactions like we're doing this one, obviously, join everybody in the Patreon, also link down below. And that's it, so let's get to Savage Garden, the Animal song. This is way different. Great tribal drumming.
When superstars and cannonballs are running through your head, and television freak show
great drumming.
Rappers everywhere. Subway makes me nervous, people pushing me too far. I got to break away, so take my hand out, 'cause I want to live like animal, careless and free.
I really like the percussion in this song. I'm liking this one. Really cool instrumental.
I've been having difficulties keeping to myself. Feelings and emotions better left upon the shelf. Animals and children tell the truth, they never lie. Which one is more human? There's the thought, now you decide. Compassion in the jungle, compassion in your hands. Yeah. Would you like to make a run for it? Would you like to take my hand? Yeah. 'Cause I want to live like animal, careless and free.
I really like the background vocals here.
I want to run through the jungle, the wind in my hair and the sand at my feet.
Ooh, I like this.
Sometimes this life can get you down. It's so
I like the guitar.
confusing. There's so many rules to follow. And I feel it, 'cause I just run away in my mind.
Love the drumming, man.
Superstars and cannonballs are running through your head. Television freak show, cops and robbers everywhere. Animals and children tell the truth, they never lie. Which one is more human? There's a thought, now you decide. Compassion in the jungle, compassion in your hands. Yeah. Would you like to make a run for it? Would you like to take my hand?
This one a lot. This is a good vibe, eh? All right, man. Okay, that one at first I wasn't sold on it. Like at first I really liked the drumming. Like the drumming all the way through. I think this is some of the coolest drumming they've had in either of their albums. I love tribal drumming. I love very like just like rhythmic, repetitious drumming. Like I love sinking into grooves. And that's what's interesting about this one. This is like an upbeat, fun song, but you'll notice I wasn't like smiling like I usually do when I really like an upbeat song, because this one actually had such good percussion that I was almost in this trance the whole way, just kind of vibing to it. You know what I mean? And then finally at the end, I was like, okay, I like, I really like this. And I got fully into it. And then again, as Savage Garden usually does, layering the background harmonies with the vocals, and especially in the outro, everything at the end of this song just came together for me. I was like, okay, this is very cool. And this has just a fantastic vibe. And one thing I was thinking too is this song is, I think, another one by Savage Garden that is deceptively deeper than you think. Because again, Darren Hayes, as I always say, one of the best lyricists in the game. Literally, I think one of the best lyricists I have ever heard. Not because he says anything technically insane, but it's the fact that how he can write about the mundane. It's about how he can talk about the very things that we take for granted, the very normal things in our lives, but throw a philosophical and psychological spin on them that makes you think about the simple things differently, uniquely. And I think that's where his talent is that, yeah, sometimes he literally does say things that are just like super profound. And you're like, wow, that's deep. But a lot of the time it's just the way he articulates the things that we take for granted, I think, in some sense. And like this, like I just want to be an animal. I just want to be carefree. Like I've been thinking about that a lot this year. I would say I've been thinking a lot about wanting to be like an animal, and also want to be like a child. You know, it's funny. A lot of the people I know in my life, a lot of people I talk to are always talking about like, oh, I want to do something bigger with my life. I want to be fulfilled. I'm depressed. I'm not fulfilled. And, you know, I have the opposite problem. I'm extremely fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like between my podcast and this, like luckily the way I do reactions, I'm actually doing mini therapy sessions with you guys and myself. And this is very fulfilling to me. So for me, it's the opposite of most people. I'm like, I want to get away from my responsibility in some sense. I want to let go. I want to make stupid mistakes and not have to pay for them. You know what I mean? I want to be like a kid and just go on an adventure, not think about how I have to come back and work tomorrow or do this podcast, do this conference, or, you know what I mean? Like there's like all these things that happen when you have responsibility that kind of like lock you into place. And, you know, if it sounds like I'm complaining, I'm not, because I legitimately have, you know, the greatest job I could ever want. This is, if someone was to be like, okay, you could do anything else in the world, what would it be? It'd be like, nothing. I'm doing what I want to do. This is why I'm here on the planet. I'm built for this. This is my thing. This is my unique contribution to society and the world and whatever. So for me, maybe any angst I have is not about getting responsibility. It's like, in some sense, letting go of it just momentarily, just a couple days, a week. It really is. I think it's just a case of the grass is greener on the other side, because I think the moment I lived what I'm craving, I'd be good. I'd be like, you know, and I think in some sense, I think the grass is greener on the other side is actually a call to action. I think it's actually embedded within us in some sense. I think it's actually a call to break up the mundanity of our lives. You know, I think we all get complacent. We all get comfortable. And I've heard it said once that comfortability is actually numbness. Because if you think about it, like there's a story someone told me where he's like, yeah, I went and I was sleeping over at this rich person's house, right? And they had this like Egyptian cotton bed and silk and whatever. And it was like the best. It was like an $8,000 bed. And I woke up the next day and the person asked me, oh, how do you like the bed? And then he went, oh, I didn't even think about it. I guess it was good. It worked. I didn't think about it. And then he had the realization, oh shit. It's like literally comfortability is the absence of sensation. It's the absence of awareness. It is literally like what is so comfortable in our lives when we have perfected our daily routines, when we have perfected our eating habits, we've perfected our whatever. It's like life starts to dissolve into each other. There's no more boundaries. There's no more difference in experiences, because you are having the same kind of emotional experience all the time. You're having the same kind of, you're just kind of numb. And I never thought about it like that. I never thought that oh shit, like, we think that numbness, and numbness comes for various reasons, but a lot of the time we think numbness is like depression, at least numbness, but maybe it's literally just comfortability. Maybe it's the very things that we're all trying to find. We're all trying to be more comfortable. We're all trying to isolate ourselves more from the world. If I make more money, then I can live in a gated community. Then I can have a bigger house and I can, escape the people in my house or my township or my family. And it's like every time we make more money, we're trying to get more comfortable and in turn isolate ourselves from reality. We're trying to isolate ourselves from the world around us, the people around us. We don't want to be annoyed by people's, loud music. We don't want to be annoyed by all these things, but really it's like in some sense you just keep building a prison for yourself through all this numbness. And again, it kind of blew me away. It was like, again, it was almost like a Darren comment where I was like, that's not technically anything earth shattering, but it's a new reflection on something that I take for granted. Like I'm always trying to find more comfortability in my life. I'm always trying to make things easier. I'm trying to limit the sensation of my life, the negative sensations, but negative sensations are sensations. Yeah, we're all just trying to find that bed that we won't even realize we're sleeping in because we melt into it, right? That's our lives. We melt into our lives to the point where we don't even realize we're living anymore. But when superstars and cannonballs are running through your head, a television freak show, cops and robbers everywhere. Subway makes me nervous. People pushing me too far. I've got to break away. So take my hand now, because I want to live like animals, careless and free like animals. I want to live. I want to run through the jungle. The wind in my hair and the sand in my feet. 100%, man. I'm with them. There's times where I crave. I'm like, I want to go on an adventure in Hawaii, man. I just want to like leave and just lose myself for a week. You know what I mean? Just get lost with somebody. You know what I mean? Just forget about the world. I've been having difficulties keeping to myself, feelings and emotions better left up on the shelf. Animals and children tell the truth, they never lie. I always say that. I'm like, animals and children don't lie. They're naive. In some sense, maybe like naivety is like the distilled version of truth. In some sense, like we're always trying to find truth. We're always trying to scientifically prove truth. It's like maybe we should just like listen to observe animals and children, because they live within the natural harmonies of life without even thinking about it. We're trying to return to nature. We're trying to return to the truth in some sense. We're trying to uncover the truth that's always there. But it's like maybe like we got to stop trying. Maybe that's the whole point. It's like animals and children don't try to do anything. They just are. They're just being. They're just there. They're just whatever impulse they have. And sure, we break animals, we break children, we domesticate them, we turn them into thinking machines. But before we domesticate them, it's interesting to observe children and animals because they're just so intuitive in some sense. They're so instinctual. It's interesting. Which one is more human? There's the thought. Now you decide. I love that line. I just love any lyric that's like kind of makes you think. You know what I mean? Compassion in your hand. Compassion in the jungle. Compassion in your hands. Yeah. Would you like to make a run for it? Would you like to take my hand? That's an interesting question. Is there compassion in the wild? Is there compassion in the jungle? Is it a dog-eat-dog world? Or is it a cooperative world? And also maybe the dog-eat-dog is an aspect of compassion. Maybe it's just part of the cycle. You know what I mean? Again, if rabbits were left to breed forever, it would destroy the natural order of things, right? So it's like, a lot of time we're like, oh, Earth is so savage. Just like, okay, well, how else would you keep things in check? There's almost like a perfect equilibrium to everything in nature. And it's like maybe the equilibrium itself is compassion, but the aspects of the equilibrium, the aspects of compassion actually look like viciousness, look like savagery. But it's like it in the totality of it, it actually creates compassion. Like we're so caught up in the individual acts. We don't think about how everything comes together, the balance, the eternal balance of everything. Because I want to live. Yeah. Sometimes this life can get you down. Yeah, Darren. It's so confusing. There's so many rules to follow. Amen. And I feel it because I just run away in my mind. Superstars and cannonballs running through your head. And this compassion. Yeah. Yeah, repeat chorus and fade. I love the fades. The fades are just when you get that repetition going, you get the harmonies going, you get the falsetto, you get the ad libs get going, you get the repetition and the drumming, you get the instrumental. You just it's trance like. It pulls you into the music. And the cool thing about a lot of time outros is that you're not thinking about them in the outro. Like the rest of the song, you can be in your head observing the lyrics, thinking about what it means, but it's only in the repetition and the trance-like nature of an outro of a song where your head is actually devoid of thoughts in some sense. It is like the repetition lulls you into this like theta brainwave state where you're just losing yourself in the music. And that's interesting. It makes you think about music. It's like, should music even have lyrics? And obviously, the answer is yes and no. Some music you want instrumentals. And like for me, sometimes I love listening to African music or Indian music or Spanish music. Sometimes I love just listening to the voice as an instrument, not paying attention to lyrics, because you actually get to lose yourself in the vibe easier. Because in some sense, the lyrics bring you into a story. They bring you into your analytical mind, and they bring you out of your body. That's why sometimes even I like kind of drumming to music, because a lot of time when I'm drumming to music, I'm like connecting with the vibe of the music and losing myself in it and paying less attention to the lyrics. And you'll notice too, a lot of the time I will air drum to something after I've formulated and paid attention to lyrics enough that I feel like I can intuitively go with the idea of the song. And then I'm like, okay, it's time to lose myself in this now. You know what I mean? It's time to feel the music, because when you're thinking about lyrics, you're not feeling the music. Or like, it's kind of like the rule of like, you have 100% of your attention, and you can either do 10 things at 10%, or, one thing at 1%, one thing at 20%, one thing at 4. You know what I mean? You get it. It's like you either can focus on 10 things at 10% or one thing at 100%, right? So it's like if you're, 50% of you is focusing on the lyrics, there's 50% less left to lose yourself within the music, right? And then if you don't pay attention to the lyrics and you don't pay attention to the vocal melodies and get analytical about it, you just go 100%. Like the outro, I'm 100% in the vibe, right? 100% of my attention is within the song in the outro. And that's cool. But yeah, this was actually really good. I really enjoyed this one. What do you guys think? And if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to help out with the YouTube algorithm, definitely leave a like, leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video and you want to watch the entire rest of the full album reaction with us, join everybody in the Patreon. I'll link down below. And what are your favorite Darren Hayes songs? Let me know. And that's pretty much it. Also, I'm not going to I haven't got my thing up. So shout out to all my tier 3 patrons. You guys know who you are. But anyway, I love you guys. I'll see all of you tomorrow. All right. Peace.